sector reforms, some lessons from the Ebola scare, and the need for lawyers to brace up for the globalization of legal services. That's our focus on this week's episode of Law Weekly. The former chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association's section on business law, Mr. George Etobi, is my guest on this episode of the program. He was recently appointed as special advisor to the International Trade Committee of the Bar Issues Commission of the International Bar Association, IBA, and he is passionate about replicating international best standards in services offered to Nigerians and in Nigeria. Welcome to Law Weekly on Channels Television. I am Shola Shoyele. Let's begin with a quick recap of some of the top legal stories of last week.
The trial of South African Paralympian Oscar Pistorius, which has captivated the world and held people glued to their television sets 6.5 months after it started, has finally produced a judgment. The athlete was charged with murder following the fatal shooting of his model girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. He shot her through the locked toilet door in his Pretoria home on Valentine's Day last year, claiming he mistook her for an intruder. Judge Masipa last week Thursday held that the state had not proved that Pistorius was guilty of murder in any form, either premeditated or of murder with indirect intent. On Friday, the judge held that he was guilty of culpable homicide, and his conduct was negligent. As a reasonable person in the same circumstances with the same disability would have foreseen the possibility that someone could be killed and would have taken reasonable steps to prevent such an occurrence. Pistorius was also found guilty of contravening some provisions of the Firearms Control Act by discharging a firearm in public. His bail was, however, extended and remains a free man till October the 13th, when his sentence will be determined. On that day, the defense and prosecution will make further arguments before sentencing. Both sides could call witnesses to substantiate their arguments for and against mitigated sentencing, and Pistorius himself could be called back to the stand. The judge has wide discretion over the sentence. Oscar Pistorius could face a fine, a suspended sentence, correctional supervision, and community service, or up to 15 years in prison. Back here in Nigeria, a federal high court sitting in Lagos will, on September the 30th, give judgment in a suit challenging the impeachment of the former governor of Adamawa State, Murtala Nyako. Justice Okonabang fixed the date on Thursday after the parties represented had adopted their processes and canvassed arguments. The suit, which was filed by a Lagos-based lawyer, Mr. Olukoya Ogunbeje, is seeking, amongst other reliefs, an order of the court to compel the acting governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintiri, to vacate office and for Nyako to be reinstated. The lawyer contends that the process of Nyako's removal is unconstitutional, as he was not personally served with the impeachment notice by the State House of Assembly. Staying in Lagos, the Tribunal of Inquiry into the 4th of July road traffic accident and subsequent arson and vandalism of bus rapid transit buses will have its inaugural sitting on Monday, September the 15th, 2014. The Lagos Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Ade Paye, who disclosed this last week, said the tribunal is saddled with the responsibility of inquiring into the causes and factors leading to the road traffic accidents which involved a soldier, motorcyclist, and a BRT bus along Ikorodu Road over 2 months ago. The three-man tribunal is to make appropriate recommendations to prevent further occurrence of incidents of this nature. It will be recalled that on Friday, the 4th of July 2014, it was alleged that a BRT bus hit and killed a soldier, thereby leading to destruction of some BRT buses, as well as vandalism, arson, and harassment of innocent citizens. Last week, Wednesday, the inspection of election materials used during the August 9th governorship election in Osun State was stalled for over 4 hours as lawyers to both the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and All Progressives Congress, APC, engaged in a physical fight. The fight, which broke out within the premises of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Osogbo, the state capital, came up when the PDP legal team objected to the idea of allowing the APC legal team record the daily activities of the inspection of the materials. This led to an altercation. In spite of the intervention of security agencies calling for calm, INEC officials also waded into the crisis, appealing to both parties. Eventually, calm prevailed and both parties got set to work. Meanwhile, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has condemned the actions of the lawyers, insisting that they will be made to face disciplinary action if indeed they were found to be members of the association. Away from the courts, we round off with the news that human rights activists, legal practitioners, and others last week took time out to remember the late legal icon, Gani Fahimi. Amongst other activities lined up in his honor was the public presentation and launch of a book, Gani Fahimi, Images of an Iconic Social Crusader. The book, which is the first work documenting the life and times of the late legal icon in pictorial form, is authored by Richard Akinola and Mohammed Fahimi, son of the late legal icon. The 194-page pictorial book chronicles his early life, awards, struggles for social justice, court appearances, political life, and more. Mohammed Fahimi believes the book will serve to mentor young people as it depicts the struggles and life of a hero worth emulating.